Hi all, I'm Manas Mudanuri,
And I'm Rohan Aluri.
and this is our CS2316 final project. Our topic on this project was how weather impacts crime rate. As you can see, we sectioned off our presentation into 4 different categories. Purpose, this is the reason for choosing a specific topic and the reason for choosing it. Data collection and cleaning, these are the phase 1 and phase 2 of our projects. Data analysis, which is the phase 3, which shows our insights and visualizations, and results, which is the conclusion of our hypothesis. Points of interest and purpose. Atlanta is home to over 90,000 individuals and contains over 160,000 businesses. With this large network of people conglomerated in an area, and some regions being more impoverished than others, there is a great chance of theft to occur. Additionally, if we were to consider natural factors such as the weather and amount of rainfall specifically, we are looking to see the consistency in the type of theft performed, whether it is through break-ins or larceny from a vehicle, and see the variation from each year to year. Did you know that certain crimes are more closely related to weather conditions? An article that we found online shows a study done by a university in Virginia which gives us insight on certain crimes being linked to weather conditions. Quoted, police crime data from the City of Chicago data portal indicates that within the annual summer crime peak, certain types of crime appear more weather dependent. Out of 7 major crime categories, theft along with shootings and other battery saw the greatest increase as temperatures rose, with 9 additional incidences for every 10-degree temperature increase. After looking at this article, we wanted to see if there were any different weather conditions that had similar patterns as the one mentioned above. We continued to research and see which weather condition would be the most ideal to work with, and we decided to combine the rainfall data and the crime rate data and see if there's any sort of correlation between the two. And the data sets that we used in our code were CSV files, HTML files, and GeoJSON file. For our CSV file, this data set shows us all the crimes in the Atlanta area from 2009 to 2017. This provides information about type of crime committed, the date it was committed, and the neighborhood in Atlanta it was committed in. This will allow us to use other files we've gathered to compare each crime with precipitation values over a specific period in time. Next, our HTML file. We chose this specific dataset because it provides clear and concise information about the precipitation totals per year and per month in each year. The last column, which provides yearly totals, will be used in our analysis as we compare the value of precipitation in one year to which type of crime is most committed in that same year. Finally, our GeoJSON file. We chose this specific dataset because we knew that some neighborhoods in Atlanta are more prone to theft than others. One factor that determines which neighborhood is likely to have more threat due to crime is the population. This data is used in our analysis as we compare from our CSV file where the specific crimes occurred in Atlanta, so we have a better understanding on which neighborhoods are more inclined to theft from a specific race. And our hypothesis for this project was we perceived that years that received larger amounts of rainfalls had fewer robbery-related crimes committed. Next, our data collection and cleaning. This is a chart on pretty much from the start to finishing to finding our files in our data frame. And we started off by reading the different articles on crime and reading different insights on rainfall. And with that, we came up with a hypothesis to test within our code. And after coming up with a hypothesis, we started searching for specific files that will pertain to our research.
For our actual data collection and cleaning process, which was done in phase 1 and phase 2, we used 3 separate files as mentioned before. For our first file, which was a CSV, we found this and collected this file online, and this gave us a data set that shows us all the different types of crime that were committed in the Atlanta area within the years 2009 to 2017. We also saw that it met all the requirements for its size, so we decided to use this file because all the data was organized in different columns very cleanly. And this data was used in our analysis to compare the types of crime to the amount of rainfall within that specific area. The data set, as we mentioned before, showed all the crimes within a general year, and this allowed us to use our other files we gathered to compare each crime within the same specific period of years. And an inconsistency that we saw within this CSV file was that some of the rows for the location of the crime said downtown or midtown, which were more specific, while others said neighborhoods such as North Buckhead or Inman Park. And those neighborhoods, it will be hard to compare in general a specific area when we aren't given a consistent data value for the column neighborhood, as some of them are more general than others. And we planned on correcting this inconsistency by not considering the crimes reported that have neighborhoods in downtown or midtown when comparing files through deleting them. And this was the code that we used to actually clean our CSV file. And in the top left picture, you can see how we access the file and drop the columns that we don't need. And we then sort values by the date, and the setting, the column's name, and how the data is viewed is all displayed in the first picture. The second picture shows how we got rid of our inconsistency and how we merged 2 graphs that were used previously. We also exported our data frame into a CSV file called crime.csv. And this was our CSV file after we cleaned our code. And this was the type of data frame that we returned. For our next file, we had an HTML file. And we found our HTML file online, which gave us a data set that shows us rainfall levels from the years 2009 to 2022. We saw that it also met all the requirements for its size, so we decided to choose this website. And we plan to observe the average rainfall per year in inches from the years 1996 to 2022. Although the monthly rainfall averages are provided for each year, we were specifically interested in the annual totals, which were presented on the far right column. An inconsistency that we had was that the years went up till 2022 and the months of December had not happened in 2022 yet. Therefore, they had blank values within the data set, and we had to get rid of them by dropping these values. This slide shows our code for cleaning the HTML, and the first picture shows how we had to use Selenium to scrape the code because the code was on a website that used JavaScript rather than Python. And we also used headers and data values from the website. And our second picture shows how we made a list within a list so we can append the data values that were found within these rows into our new data frame. And this was our final data frame after cleaning the file. Our last file that we had was our .geojson file, and this took a while to find. However, we were able to find this file, and it has the same characteristics as a regular JSON file, except that the code is in latitude and longitude, which made it easy for us to manipulate. And we plan to retrieve data from the source by specifically looking in the column titled neighborhood and analyzing the percentage of individuals in those assigned neighborhoods that come from each race. And one of the inconsistencies that we found was in row 60, where the population and number of individuals for each race was 0 for all values. This presents practically an empty data set and has no significance when we start comparing our data from different files. This was a picture of us cleaning our GeoJSON file, and the first image shows how we added a column called large population over 10,000 and has inputs from a condition set above. Changing the column name and also dropping the first index also happens. And in the second picture, you can see how we imported it as a GeoJSON because of its attributes, and how we set the data frame for us to manipulate for the for loop. And this was finally our GeoJSON file after cleaning it. And the next part, we move into our data analysis. For our data analysis, we have 5 insights, and our first insight was used by dropping unnecessary columns using .drop and using a group by the date to look at all the crimes that were committed respective to the year. We also used .aggregate pd.series.mode to result in the count of the highest type of crime committed and to return a label of the name of the crime rather than just a number. And this image on the right shows our output for our Insight 1. Our Insight 2 was where our Insight 2 can be seen at the bottom right here, and the code is shown at the top. In the code, we created a new column by total rainfall in Atlanta inches, and added each column in the data set to determine the total annual rainfall within the years 2009 to 2016. We also used vectorized operations like greater than or equal to and used .map in order to create another column that determines whether the amount of rainfall that year is considered heavy. For our Insight 3, we added a new row using .lock and applied .aggregate in order to find the average of races and the total of populations. We used a for loop to add a % after each value and rounded all values using .round1 to 1 decimal place. For fourth Insight, we created a new row using .lock in order to determine the average amount of rainfall per month within the years 2009 to 2016. After creating this new row, we had to change the data type to a string, and we did this using .astype stir and used an index to index only the first 4 elements and to get 2 decimal places for all the elements that we needed. And this bottom picture shows the output of our fourth Insight. Lastly, for our fifth Insight, we had to rename 2 existing columns with 2 different data frames to year in order to merge them on that respective column using pd.merge. We also dropped irrelevant columns using .drop and renamed the columns to have appropriate and reasonable descriptors using .rename, and then exported this to an Excel file. The image on the right shows our output for our fifth Insight.
This is our visualization number 1, and it's a pie chart. We made this pie graph with the % distribution in crimes committed by different races. We also used Explode to give a better visual of the sections of the bar graph. We also changed the colors by setting the colors to pink, light blue, violet, sky blue, and fuchsia, and setting that equal to colors within the dot plot. As you can see in the bottom right, that's what the visualization output was. For visualization number 2, we made a bar graph with the average amount of rainfall per month over an 8-year period. We used different functions in order to set axes, such as figure.setXlabel and figure.setYlabel, and used a for loop to set the individual measurements, such as indicator height above the bar and the width of each bar. And visualization number 3 is we created a list of values and accessed them to make a line graph using a dot plot, and changed necessary features such as X and Y labels using .setLabel. We also added a legend for organizational purposes using plt.legend. And this is our overall summary. From our Insight 5, we're able to disprove our hypothesis. Looking at the column total amount of rainfall in inches, we can see that a variation in rainfall barely changes the most prominent crime. From this, we can tell that they are independent from each other and can have a meaningful correlation.
And this is our overall results and our conclusions that we did throughout the project. Our hardest challenge was when we had our HTML file, it was written in JavaScript and we couldn't parse through it using Python. So we had to import something called Selenium, which was an open source project, in order to use the Python to get the data set that we desired. This was a new process that we weren't familiar with that was really helpful. We also noticed that the data in the GeoJSON file was stored as a dictionary, so we created a for loop to access the dictionary and get the specific rows we needed. And in conclusion, as we mentioned previously, we found that the type of crime committed has no correlation to the amount of rain. The years with higher annual rainfall had the same type of crime, which was larceny from vehicle, as the years with lower annual rainfall. This disproves our initial hypothesis, giving us a correlation that can't be measured without other factors. And through our takeaways, we saw that although our project determined there was no correlation between crime and rainfall,